The massive Zyraxian warship hung in space like a dark cloud. Commander Olivia Wright stood on the bridge of the UEA Resilience, her hands clasped behind her back. She tried to keep her face calm as she looked at the alien ship on the big screen. "They're calling us again, Commander," said Lieutenant Jack Miller from his station. His voice was steady, but Olivia could hear the tension in it. She took a deep breath. "Put them through." The screen changed to show the face of Fleetmaster Krastok. His scaly skin was a dark green, and his yellow eyes narrowed as he looked at Olivia. His mouth parts clicked together in what humans had learned was a sign of dislike. "Your kind continues to amuse me, Commander Wright," said the alien leader. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "Your people talk about peace while your ships get ready for war. This shows how simple your thinking is." Olivia kept her face blank. She had dealt with the Zyraxian leader many times in the 3 months since humans first met the aliens. Each time he made it clear he thought humans were stupid and weak. "We want peace, Fleetmaster," she said, "but we will fight if we must." Krastok made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your weapons are hundreds of years behind ours. We would destroy your ships before they could even get close to us." He leaned closer to the screen. "You have 2 Earth weeks to give us your outer colonies, or we will take them by force." The screen went black. Olivia turned to her crew, who all looked worried. "Get me Fleet Admiral Henry Davis," she said to Jack, "and call Dr. Sam Powell at Strategic Operations." "What are you thinking, Commander?" asked Science Officer Ellie Grant. She pushed her red hair out of her face, her eyes full of worry. Olivia walked to the large window and looked out at the stars. "The Zyraxians think they're better than us because they have better technology. They don't see us as a threat." She turned back to face her team. "But they've missed something important about humans." "What's that?" Jack asked. "We don't always need to shoot to win a war." 2 days later, Olivia sat in a large meeting room at Earth's defense headquarters. Around the table sat the most important people in Earth's defense. Fleet Admiral Henry Davis, a tall man with gray hair and dark skin, led the meeting. "Commander Wright believes the Zyraxians have a weakness we can use," said the Admiral. "Dr. Powell, what can you tell us about these aliens?" Dr. Sam Powell adjusted his glasses. He was the top expert on alien cultures. "The Zyraxians judge worth by technology. They literally cannot imagine winning except by having better weapons. Then we use that blind spot." Admiral Davis nodded. "What do we know about how they talk to each other?" Dr. Mia Johnson, who studied alien biology, spoke up. "They have devices in their brains that connect all their military leaders. Information flows constantly between them. It's how they run their empire. And that's their weakness," added Nathan Reed, the head of Earth's computer operations. His fingers tapped quickly on his tablet as he spoke. "We've been looking at the data from our talks with them. Their codes are strong, but they have patterns we can use." Admiral Davis leaned forward, his eyes intense. "What are you thinking?" "A different kind of attack," Olivia explained. "Instead of shooting at their ships, we target how they think. The Zyraxians need perfect information and total belief in their power. We make them doubt," Nathan continued. "Not with weapons, but with careful false information and gaps in their talking system. We use what they think makes them strong against them." "They'll never expect it," Olivia added. "They think human plans are simple, that's our advantage." Dr. Johnson frowned, her forehead wrinkling. "But how do we do this without them finding out?" Nathan smiled slightly. "That's where our simple thinking becomes our strength." The next 10 days were very busy. While the public heard about shelter plans and getting people off the outer colonies, a special team worked day and night on a plan called Operation Ghost Echo. In a secure building under the Rocky Mountains, Nathan Reed watched as programmers and language experts finished their work. "How are we doing?" Commander Wright asked as she entered the command center. "The package is ready," Nathan said. "We've made perfect copies of Zyraxian command codes. They won't know they're not real." Olivia looked at the screens showing complex alien writing. "And how will we deliver it?" Dr. Powell pointed to a small, plain-looking device on the main table. "This is what they'll never see. The Zyraxians look for energy weapons, shields, and engine signs, but this..." He picked up the device. will look like normal space radiation to them. Old technology, Nathan added, based on ideas from almost 100 years ago, changed to work with their network. They would never think to guard against it because it's so much simpler than what they use. Lieutenant Kate Wilson walked in with a tablet. The Xeraxian ships are moving into position around Jupiter. They're exactly where we need them to be. Olivia nodded. Then we start tomorrow. Each device needs to be placed near a Xeraxian communication point. And then? Kate asked. And then we show them why looking down on human cleverness was their biggest mistake. Olivia turned and looked at the large map of the solar system on the wall. The red dots showing Xeraxian ships surrounded Earth's outer colonies. They thought they had humans trapped. They thought victory was certain. They expect us to either surrender or fight a war we can't win, she said softly. They never considered a third option. Dr. Powell stood beside her. Do you think this will work? Olivia watched as more details were added to the operation plan on the screens around them. Earth's best minds working together, finding a way to win without firing a shot. The Xeraxians believe power comes from technology, she said. We're about to teach them that real power comes from how you think. She turned to face the room full of people working to save humanity. Let's get ready. We have 4 days until their deadline. As she walked out of the command center, Olivia felt something she hadn't felt since the Xeraxians arrived: hope. The day before the Xeraxian deadline, Olivia couldn't sleep. She stood in her small room on the UEA Resilience, looking at the stars. Somewhere out there, the alien fleet waited, ready to attack if humans didn't give up their outer colonies. Soft beep came from her door. Come in, she said. Jack Miller entered, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to Olivia. Thought you might need this. Thanks, she said, taking a sip. Any updates? The last delivery team just reported in. All devices are in place, hidden near the Xeraxian communication points. Olivia nodded. And the Xeraxians haven't noticed anything? Not a thing. They're still in formation around Jupiter, waiting for the deadline. They stood in silence for a moment, drinking their coffee and looking at the stars. Do you think this will work? Jack finally asked. Olivia turned to face him. It has to. We can't win a direct fight against them. Their ships are too strong, their weapons too advanced. But they don't understand humans, Jack said with a small smile. No, they don't. They think because their technology is better, they're better. That's why they'll lose. In the control room under the Rocky Mountains, Nathan Reed hadn't slept in 2 days. His eyes were red as he checked the final parts of his plan. Screens all around him showed the status of the devices now floating in space near the Xeraxian ships. Dr. Sam Powell brought him a sandwich. You need to eat. Nathan took the food without looking away from his screens. Thanks, we're almost ready. The fake messages are prepared, the delivery system is working perfectly. The Admiral wants an update, Sam said. He's online too. Nathan pressed a button on his console. Admiral Davis, this is Reed. We're ready to begin Phase 1 at 0600 hours tomorrow. Good, came the Admiral's voice. The President has been informed. All military forces are on standby, but hidden as you suggested. We don't want the Xeraxians to see any unusual movement. Exactly, Nathan said. As far as they know, we're either preparing to surrender or preparing for a hopeless fight. They have no idea what's really coming. After the call ended, Sam looked at the main screen showing the alien fleet. It's hard to believe those little devices can do anything against such powerful ships. Nathan smiled tiredly. That's what the Xeraxians think too. They're looking for big weapons, energy readings, ship movements. They're not looking for tiny devices using old radio technology. Because they think such simple technology is useless, Sam nodded. Exactly, and that's why. It will work. The next morning, Commander Wright stood on the bridge of the Resilience. Her crew was quiet, everyone watching the clock as it counted down to 600 hours. 30 seconds, Jack announced. Olivia took a deep breath. Start recording. If this works, I want to send a message to the Zyraxian fleet. Recording ready, said Communications Officer Lisa Patel. 10 seconds, Jack said. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Operation Ghost Echo is live. Across the solar system, the small devices activated. They began sending carefully designed signals into the Zyraxian communication network. The signals were weak, but they didn't need to be strong. They just needed to be enough to create doubt. On the Zyraxian flagship called Eternal Dominion, Fleet Master Krastok prepared to give the order to attack. The human deadline would expire in 1 hour. He had expected them to surrender, but so far no message had come. Fleet Master called his second-in-command, a Zyraxian named Vexlar. We have received new orders from High Command. Krastok turned, confused. What orders? Vexlar showed him a message on his screen. We are to delay the attack. There are concerns about human defenses around Mars. What defenses? Krastok asked. Our scans show nothing unusual. The message says our long-range scanners may be compromised. Several scout ships have reported unusual energy readings. Krastok's scales rippled in annoyance. Let me see that message. He studied the order. It had all the right codes and markings. It appeared to come directly from Zyraxian High Command, but something felt wrong. Send a direct message to High Command, he ordered. Ask for confirmation. As Vexlar moved to obey, another officer called out. Fleet Master, we are receiving reports from multiple ships. They are detecting strange signals near our communication relays. What kind of signals? Unknown, sir. They appear to be some form of primitive radio waves. Krastok's eyes narrowed. Radio waves? No advanced species uses radio for important communication. It must be background radiation. Yes, sir, but the timing is unusual. All ships are reporting it at the same time. Before Krastok could respond, Vexlar returned. Fleet Master, I cannot reach High Command. There appears to be interference in our communication network. For the first time, Krastok felt uneasy. He looked at the displays showing the human planets. Everything seemed normal. No fleet movements, no weapon signatures. But something was happening. Send ships to investigate these radio signals, he ordered, and keep trying to reach High Command. In the control center on Earth, Nathan watched as the Zyraxian ships began to move out of formation. It's working, he said, a smile spreading across his tired face. They're detecting our signals, and they're confused. Admiral Davis watched from a screen. Time for Phase 2? Yes, sir. Now we feed them the false intelligence reports. Make them think we have weapons they can't detect. Nathan's fingers flew over his keyboard, sending new commands to the devices. Now they would begin transmitting more complex messages, designed to create fear and doubt in the Zyraxian military. On the Resilience, Olivia watched as the alien ships changed position. Some moved toward Mars, others seemed to be searching space for something. They've taken the bait, she said. They're looking for threats that don't exist. Commander, Lisa called. We're receiving a transmission from Fleet Master Krastok. Put him through. The alien leader's face appeared on screen. His scales were darker than usual, a sign of stress. Commander Wright, he said, his voice tense. Our deadline has not yet expired. Why have you activated your defenses? Olivia kept her face calm, hiding her excitement. What defenses, Fleet Master? We are simply waiting for your deadline. Do not play games with me, human. We detect your activities. Perhaps you're detecting something else, Olivia suggested. Space is full of strange signals. Krastok's eyes narrowed. You have 1 hour to surrender your colonies, Commander. Nothing has changed. But as his image disappeared from the screen, Olivia knew everything had changed. The plan was working. The seeds of doubt had been planted. Send word to Admiral Davis, she told Jack. Tell him to prepare for Phase 3. The real game is about to begin. The Zyraxian deadline had passed. 8 hours had gone by since the time when they had promised to attack, but no weapons had been fired. Instead, the alien fleet moved in strange patterns, seeming confused and disorganized. In the control center, under the Rocky Mountains, Nathan Reed watched the alien ships on his screens. Dark circles under his eyes showed how little he had slept, but a small smile played on his lips. Phase 2 is working perfectly, he told Admiral Davis. The Xeraxians are completely confused. Their ships are moving in defensive patterns instead of attack formations. What kind of false information are you feeding them now? The Admiral asked. Nathan pointed to one of his screens. We started with simple conflicting orders. Then we added fake reports about hidden human weapons. Now we're making them think their own ships are betraying them. On another screen, they could see a message that looked like it came from Xeraxian High Command. It warned Fleetmaster Krastok that 3 of his ship captains were secret human sympathizers planning to disable the fleet's weapons during the attack. They've spent the last 4 hours scanning their own ships and questioning their officers, Nathan said. They're so busy looking for traitors that they've completely forgotten about attacking us. Admiral Davis shook his head in amazement. And they still don't realize it's all coming from our devices? No. The signals are too weak and simple for them to take seriously. They're looking for advanced technology, powerful weapons. They can't believe something so basic could cause such problems. Dr. Powell entered the room carrying fresh coffee for everyone. Any response from the Resilience? Commander Wright reports the same confusion near Mars, Nathan said. The Xeraxian ships there are in defensive positions, scanning for threats that don't exist. It's time for Phase 3, Admiral Davis decided. Send the word to all teams, let's finish this. On the UEA Resilience, Olivia received the message from Earth. Phase 3 would begin in 1 hour. This would be the most dangerous part of the UEA plan. Jack, she called to her lieutenant, prepare a direct message to Fleetmaster Krastok. I want to speak with him personally. Do you think he'll talk to you? Jack asked as he worked at his station. He's confused and angry. He needs someone to blame. I'm the perfect target. Ellie Grant looked worried. Is that safe, Commander? What if he decides to attack just to show he's still in control? That's the risk, Olivia admitted. But Phase 3 won't work unless he's completely focused on us instead of the strange signals his ships are detecting. Within minutes, Jack had established a connection to the Xeraxian flagship. He's responding, Commander. Krastok's face appeared on the main screen. His scales were darker than before, a sign of stress among his kind. Commander Wright, he hissed. Have you decided to surrender? Actually, Fleetmaster, I wanted to ask why you haven't attacked yet. Your deadline passed 8 hours ago. The alien's yellow eyes narrowed. You test my patience, human. We are simply adjusting our strategy. Are you? Olivia asked innocently. It looks more like you're having problems with your fleet. We have no problems, Krastok snapped. Our ships are the most advanced in this sector of the galaxy. Then why are they moving in defensive formations? Why are you scanning your own vessels instead of attacking our colonies? The Xeraxian leader's mouth parts clicked rapidly in anger. You know something about this. What have you done? Olivia kept her face neutral. We're just waiting, Fleetmaster. Waiting and watching. As Krastok began to respond, his image suddenly flickered. One of his officers appeared in the background saying something urgently. The transmission cut off. What happened? Olivia asked. Lisa checked her instruments. It wasn't on our end. They cut the transmission. Jack looked up from his station. Phase 3 just began. Nathan's team is flooding their network with emergency alerts. Olivia nodded. Good. Now we wait. On the Eternal Dominion, chaos had erupted. Emergency warnings flashed on every screen. Messages reported human ships appearing out of nowhere, then disappearing before they could be tracked. Other messages warned of strange energy readings near vital systems. Fleetmaster, Vexlar called. 3 ships on the outer edge of our formation report their weapon systems are offline. How? Krastok demanded. Were they attacked? No, sir. The systems just stopped responding. Technical teams can find no cause. Another officer rushed forward. Sir, we've lost contact with 5 more ships, and our long-range scanners are detecting a large energy buildup near Earth's moon. What kind of energy? Krastok asked. Unknown, sir. Nothing we've seen before? Krastok stared at the main display. Nothing made sense. The humans had no technology that could threaten his fleet. Yet his ships were failing. His communications were filled with confusing messages, and now some unknown energy was building up near Earth's moon. Could it be a new weapon? He asked his science officer. Something we don't know about? Possibly, sir. Humans are known to be creative. Perhaps they've been hiding their true capabilities. The thought chilled Krastok. What if the humans had been pretending to be less advanced? What if all this time they had weapons that could defeat the Xeraxian fleet? Sir, Vexillar said quietly. Perhaps we should pull back, regroup. This attack is not proceeding as planned. Krastok wanted to refuse. Retreat was shameful, but the safety of his fleet came first. If the humans truly had some secret weapon, order all ships to fall back to the position near Jupiter's moon. We will regroup and reassess. As the orders went out, Krastok stared at the image of Earth on his screen. The small blue planet had seemed so defenseless. Now he wasn't sure what they were facing. In the control center on Earth, Nathan jumped from his chair. They're retreating. The Xeraxian fleet is pulling back. Admiral Davis watched the screens in amazement. All of them? Yes, sir. They're moving to a defensive position near Europa. Dr. Powell laughed softly. And we never fired a single shot. Phase 3 worked perfectly, Nathan said. The fake emergency alerts, the phantom ship readings, the false energy buildup, they bought it all. Admiral Davis put a hand on Nathan's shoulder. Good work, son. Let's contact the Resilience. Commander Wright needs to know her plan worked. As messages went out to all human ships and colonies, a cheer went up in the control center. The mighty Xeraxian fleet, with all its advanced technology, had been defeated by simple radio signals and clever deception. The battle without weapons had been won. 5 days had passed since the Xeraxian deadline. No attack had come. Instead, the alien fleet had spread out in a defensive formation. Their ships moved in strange patterns, as if looking for hidden enemies. On the bridge of the UEA Resilience, Olivia watched the main screen with quiet satisfaction. Jack stood beside her, shaking his head in amazement. I still can't believe it's working, he said softly. Belief, Olivia replied. That's what this whole operation is about. The Xeraxians believed they were unbeatable because of their technology. Now they believe they're under threat, even though no real threat exists. Lisa Patel turned from her communication station. Commander, we're getting reports from all our colonies. The Xeraxian ships near them have pulled back. They're no longer in attack position. And Admiral Davis is calling, Jack added. He says it's time for the final phase. Olivia nodded. Put him through. The Admiral's face appeared on screen. Commander, Wright, the President has authorized us to send the peace offer. The Xeraxians are confused and worried. This is our chance to end this without any bloodshed. Yes, sir, Olivia replied. We'll prepare the message right away. After the call ended, Olivia turned to her crew. Lisa, prepare a transmission to Fleet Master Krastok. Jack, tell Nathan to ease back on the false signals. We want the Xeraxians to be able to think clearly enough to accept our offer. As her crew moved to follow her orders, Olivia looked out at the stars. She had gambled everything on this plan. So far it had worked better than she had dared to hope. But the final step would be the hardest. On the Eternal Dominion, Fleet Master Krastok hadn't slept in days. His scales were dull from stress. Reports of human sabotage came in every hour. His ships detected strange energy readings that appeared and disappeared. His commanders received conflicting orders. Half his fleet was chasing shadows. Fleet Master, said Vexlar, approaching carefully. We have located another strange device near our communication relay. Show me, Krastok demanded. On the screen appeared a small, simple-looking object. It didn't look dangerous. It didn't even look advanced. This is causing all our problems? He asked in disbelief. We're not sure, sir. It's using technology so old that our systems barely recognize it. But when we moved it away from the relay, some of the interference stopped. Krastok stared at the device. How could something so simple cause so much trouble? It made no sense. None of this made sense. Sir, another officer called. We're receiving a transmission from the human ship. It's Commander Wright. Krastok hesitated. Should he even talk to the human? What if this was another trick? But he needed answers. Put her through, he ordered. Olivia Wright's face appeared on the screen. She looked calm, confident. Fleetmaster Krastok, she said, I'm contacting you to offer a peaceful solution to our conflict. Krastok's mouth parts, clicked angrily. Peace? While your forces attack our systems, while your hidden weapons target my ships? Olivia's expression didn't change. We have no hidden weapons, Fleetmaster. We have no technology that could harm your advanced vessels. Lies, Krastok shouted. We have detected your interference. We have found your devices. The devices are real, Olivia admitted. But they are not weapons. They simply send information, or rather, misinformation, into your communication network. Krastok went still. What are you saying? I'm saying that everything your fleet has been experiencing, the strange orders, the conflicting reports, the sensor ghosts, all of it was created by us. Not with advanced weapons, but with simple deception. Impossible, Krastok whispered, but doubt filled his voice. You believed your technology made you unbeatable, Olivia continued. That belief was your weakness. We didn't need to fight your ships. We just needed to make you doubt yourselves. As her words sank in, Krastok felt something he had never experienced before: shame. His people had always valued intelligence, had prided themselves on their strategic thinking, but they had been fooled by a less advanced species, tricked into defeating themselves. What do you want? He asked finally. A real meeting. No threats, no ultimatums. Just two species finding a way to live in peace. In the control center under the Rocky Mountains, Nathan Reed watched the conversation between Olivia and Krastok on the big screen. Beside him, Admiral Davis and Dr. Powell watched in tense silence. Is she telling him everything? Nathan asked, surprised. Admiral Davis nodded. It's part of the plan. The Xeraxians value intelligence above all else. By showing them how we outsmarted them, we gain their respect. But won't they just attack us once they know the truth? Nathan asked. Dr. Powell shook his head. That's not how they think. To them, this will be proof that humans are worthy of respect. We beat them at a game they didn't even know they were playing. On the screen, they could see Krastok's reaction. The alien leader seemed to struggle with anger, then acceptance. He's going to agree, Admiral Davis said softly. Operation Ghost Echo worked. 2 days later, Olivia sat in a large meeting room on a neutral space station. Across from her sat Fleetmaster Krastok and 3 other Xeraxian leaders. Behind her stood Admiral Davis, Dr. Powell, and Nathan Reed. The terms of this agreement will establish boundaries for both our species, Admiral Davis was saying. Equal rights to mine resources in unclaimed systems, free trade routes, and mutual defense against any other threats. Krastok's scales had returned to their normal bright green. These terms are acceptable. Your species has proven itself more interesting than we first believed. Olivia caught the grudging respect in his voice. We hope this is the beginning of a productive relationship between humans and Xeraxians. Indeed. Krastok fixed his yellow eyes on her. Your strategy was unexpected, Commander Wright. To win without firing a shot. It is not the Xeraxian way, but I must admit its effectiveness. Different species, different strategies, Olivia replied. That's what makes the universe interesting. As the leaders signed the agreement, Olivia felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Earth was safe. The colonies were safe. And humanity had earned a place among the stars not through superior firepower but through clever thinking. After the meeting, she found Nathan staring out a window at the Xeraxian ships now peacefully docked alongside human vessels. Hard to believe those same ships were about to destroy our colonies a week ago, he said. All because they underestimated us, Olivia replied. They thought the only path to victory was through superior technology. Nathan smiled. Sometimes the old ways work best. It wasn't just the old technology, Olivia said. It was understanding the enemy better than they understood themselves. The Xeraxians couldn't imagine being defeated by a less advanced species, so they couldn't guard against it. As they watched the ships outside, Olivia thought about all the challenges that might lie ahead. There would be other aliens, other threats. But humanity had proven they could find ways to survive, to win, even against seemingly impossible odds. And they had done it without firing a single shot. 1 year had passed since the treaty with the Xeraxians. The date of the signing was now a holiday on Earth and all human colonies. People called it Strategy Day and celebrated not just peace, but the clever way humans had won it. Olivia Wright stood by the large windows in her new office on the space station Unity. The station had been built as a meeting place for humans and aliens. From here, she could see ships from both species moving peacefully through space. A soft chime announced a visitor. The door slid open to reveal Admiral Davis, now with a few more gray hairs than a year ago. "Admiral," Olivia greeted him with a smile. "It's good to see you." "You too, Commander, or should I say Ambassador Wright." He smiled at her new title. Olivia laughed. "I'm still getting used to it. You've earned it. Your understanding of the Xeraxian mind made the peace possible." They walked to a table where a map of nearby star systems glowed. Small lights showed the positions of human and Xeraxian ships. "How are the joint operations going?" the Admiral asked. "Better than expected," Olivia replied. "The Xeraxians are still learning how to work with us, but they respect our thinking now." "And the cultural exchange program?" "That's the most interesting part. More Xeraxians want to learn about human history and strategy than we can handle. They're fascinated by how often humans have won despite having less technology or fewer resources." Admiral Davis nodded. "They've started teaching some human military history in their academies. The Ghost Echo operation is already a case study." Olivia smiled at that. The plan that had seemed so desperate a year ago was now taught as brilliant strategy. "Any word from Nathan and Dr. Powell?" "They're on their way here now. The Xeraxian High Council wants to meet them." Before Olivia could reply, another chime sounded. Her assistant's voice came through the speaker. "Ambassador, Fleetmaster Krastok has arrived." "Send him in," Olivia said, straightening her uniform. The door opened and Krastok entered. He looked different than he had a year ago. His scales were brighter, and he moved with less stiffness. The biggest change, though, was in how he looked at the humans. There was no more contempt in his yellow eyes, only respect. "Fleetmaster, welcome to Unity Station," Olivia said. "Ambassador Wright, Admiral Davis." Krastok bowed his head slightly. "It is good to see you both." They sat at the table, and Olivia poured drinks for everyone. The Xeraxian took his glass carefully. Drinking with other species was a new custom for him, but he was trying to learn human ways. "I bring news from my homeworld," Krastok said. "The High Council has approved the joint research project. Our scientists will work with yours to develop new shield technology that benefits both our peoples." "That's excellent news," Admiral Davis said. "Our team is ready to begin." Krastok turned to Olivia. "They specifically requested to work with the humans who created the Ghost Echo devices. They believe combining Xeraxian power systems with human creative thinking will produce unexpected results." Olivia smiled at his choice of words. Unexpected had become a term of respect among the Xeraxians when referring to humans. "I'll tell Nathan and Dr. Powell when they arrive," she said. "They'll be pleased." Krastok set down his drink. "There is something I have wanted to ask you, Ambassador. Something personal." "Of course," Olivia said, surprised. "When you revealed your strategy to me, when you showed how you had fooled our entire fleet without firing a shot, why did you tell me the truth? You could have kept your methods secret." Olivia considered her answer carefully. "We wanted real peace, not just a pause in fighting. Real peace requires understanding. We needed you to understand how we think, how humans solve problems." "By showing our weakness," Krastok said. "By showing that different thinking isn't weakness," Olivia corrected gently. "The Xeraxians value technology and power. Humans value adaptability and creative solutions. Both approaches have strengths." The alien was quiet for a moment. "Before we met your kind, We had encountered 12 other species. All of them either fought us directly or surrendered. None tried what you did, none thought as you do. That's why this alliance is valuable, Admiral Davis said. We complement each other. Your advanced technology combined with our strategic thinking makes both our species stronger. Krastok made a sound that the humans now recognized as agreement. My people are learning this. It is not easy to change thinking that has existed for thousands of years, but we are trying. A new chime sounded. The door opened to reveal Nathan Reed and Dr. Sam Powell. They had also changed in the past year. Nathan looked more confident, and Dr. Powell had written several books about Zyraxian culture. After greetings were exchanged, Nathan turned to Krastok with a grin. I hear your scientists want to work with us. Are they still upset about those old radio transmitters? Krastok's mouth parts clicked in what humans now knew was laughter. They are curious. How could such simple devices cause so much confusion? My military leaders still debate this question. The simplest tools can be the most effective when used correctly, Dr. Powell said. That's something both our species can learn from. As they talked about the new joint project, Olivia looked around the table. Human and alien, working together. A year ago, they had been enemies ready for war. Now they were partners building a future. Later, as the meeting ended, Olivia walked Krastok to the docking bay where his ship waited. There is a human saying, she told him. The best victory is the one where you never have to fire a shot. An unusual idea for warriors, Krastok said, but I am beginning to understand it. As his ship departed, Olivia watched the stars. Somewhere out there were other alien races, some friendly, some maybe not. But humans had proven they could find their place in the galaxy. Not through superior weapons or technology, but through the uniquely human ability to find unexpected solutions. The victory without firing a shot had been just the beginning.